Hello, students. Again, I'm back. Just again, I'm asking, can you give me a sound check whether I'm audible or not? Because this is a fundamental thing. Like before starting this webinar, and today, yes, we'll be definitely going to have a really pleasant session. If I'm audible, just mention in the comment section because I'll be waiting for your yes or no. Okay. All right. So I have got a good to go. Like I am audible. So thanks guys for joining us. Like already we have one session and it was amazing. Like Anish was amazing. We discussed major things on cyber security. That was the first session of our series on skill dependence days. So I hope like guys you have checked the page of GFG on skill dependence. If you haven't, go and try. Just check it out. Like specifically the spin the wheel type. Okay. Okay, all right, guys. So let's move up to the today's session. So first of all, I just want to mention one thing. Like due to some a very urgent health issue in Khushbu's family, she is not joining this webinar. But yes, because guess what? At GFG we always find some really amazing and exceptional people. So today we have one of the very best mentor, I can say, a female coder who is actually setting up an example like how exactly she has been in the industry. So I'll just pleasure to invite her. Until then, I just want all the women who are here, all the female candidates who are here, they just give me a count or a cheer of like, yes, I am in, something like that, so that I can welcome Miss Monica over here. Just give me a cheer, guys. And until then also I just wanted to know, like guys, which is actually the company you guys are like looking for. Let's say everyone has a dream company. Like I just want to be in Amazon, I just want to join Uber, Microsoft, Adobe. So whichever is your dream company. Okay. Oh, all right, so we have seen some of the females coming up over here. That's great. And I hope like you'll get the maximum output with this session. Until then, just mention which is your dream company. And so within next 20 seconds, Miss Monica will be joining us. All right, Microsoft, perfect. Suraj suggested that like he is in for, okay, many names are there. Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Capgemini, Firmflex, Adobe. So you know what, guys? Like the today's mentor, Miss Monica, she has worked with Amazon as well as with Adobe. All right, guys, I don't take much time because she's already here. So I'll just add up in the stream. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Hi everyone. Hi Aishman. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, ma'am. Like, thanks for joining us today, and especially thanks for considering our request in this urgent situation. And it's like very good. Like, you have been here to guide the young female coders who are here, and they will be really excited to listen up to you. So, ma'am, before like
It's a
I'll
big
just
pleasure for
start.
me.
Yeah. Thank you. Before I just start this webinar, I just want one thing that is like if you can give a little much brief introduction about yourself so the candidate can better know you in a good way.
Sure. Hi everyone. I'm Monika Sharma. I did my graduation from NIT Kurukshetra. Post that, I got to work with some of the best minds best companies in India, including Paytm, Amazon, Adobe. Apart from that, I'm an ML enthusiast and have mentored like uh, 50 plus students to get started with ML, and and uh, a competitive coder. That's what I wanted to say.
Yep, thank you, ma'am, for that. And that's actually the best. Like, so guys, I like she has worked with Amazon, Paytm, and Adobe. She's currently working with, and guess what? Like, she is into ML as well. Okay, ma'am. So starting with all those things, like today's our main focus is like women in tech, and specifically not only in women in tech, like we because you have such a great experience with working with those product-based companies. So let's start with a very basic question, like how exactly do you feel like a recruitment drive of these product-based companies used to look like?
So when we talk about the recruitment in the top-notch companies, so primarily the first thing that we try to judge is that how strong the person is with the fundamentals. So we are not expecting some sort of a rocket science out of the candidates. It's basically that, like, if some question is given to you, it'll be a very basic one, but not a very standard one which you would have seen on various platforms. A little tweaked one, just to check that whether the basic understanding is there in the candidate or not. And the second thing is we try to judge the thought process. So like we try to add on in the same question as the interview progresses, and like we try to understand what is the thought process. Is he able to understand what the problems are, what are the shortcomings in his own solution and all. So that is the prime focus.
All right, ma'am. So, guys, I just want to share one more information over here. So, Miss Monica has almost taken more than 100 and 120 interviews. So, she is actually a best fit, like who can tell more about the interview process and all this thing. We'll be definitely discussing that part in the later part of this conversation. Until then, ma'am, I just want to ask one thing. Like, how do you feel like actually? Because when I see women in technical field, like I feel like it's an equal opportunity. Because like if I talk about the mechanical branch, sometimes what happens, like those localities, they are actually in the exterior part of the city or something like that. So maybe that is one of the limitations. Like women cannot join that part, and same stand for the chemical branch and other branch. But what do you feel about the computer science? Like, how is the opportunity being divided?
The best part about the IT industry, or say the computer industry, is that it holds equal opportunities for both the female and the male candidates. And it's like usually, like for some reason, till now we have like a bit of less representation of women in tech. But like in terms of the opportunity, I don't think there is any difference, or like as a recruiter or so basically the companies are not differentiating between them, and there is a huge ocean of opportunities if you really want to pursue your career in IT.
All right, that's actually completes that part. So, ma'am, second thing, let's not about only about the women. Let's say, what are the main difficulties, or let's say about the challenges you have faced when you have been preparing for these product-based companies?
So the first part is getting started. So like initially, like as a maybe as a college student or a undergrad student, you don't know where to start from. So the first thing is that you should understand that what are the fundamentals that you have to start with, and those include your DAs, algos. At times, what we see is that some of the college students like get more engaged into web development and all. It's like you need to be focused. First of all, you need to understand like what do you want to do, and like a proper guidance is required. So the first thing which most of the people struggle with is to find a mentor. So like that is what I would like to guide most of the people over here is, first of all, try to find a mentor, which can be like any of your seniors, any of your maybe elder siblings, or maybe also on the online platforms. So once you have a proper mentor, then you can start then you can have a clear understanding of what you actually how you actually want to pursue.
Sure, ma'am. So, guys, one thing that we can expect from here is like, see, what happened when we are trying and when we are in the campus. The main thing that we should focus is like we should actually start preparing. That's the first and the most important key step. What do you say, ma'am? Isn't it?
Right, and that too, we should try to start as early as possible. Like if we say,
Okay.
if some of the people say that okay, just before the placements, I'll study for 2 months and then I'll crack the interviews. So like that is not how it goes. We need to start early, and we should try to like be regular in the practice.
Sure, ma'am. That's actually perfect. So, ma'am, there is very much thinking, and people used to say about these things, like how exactly like women are actually considered in the tech industry. Like maybe do companies have set up some few policies for them, like specifically
Right.
targeting the female employees? Yeah.
These days there are a lot of policies where companies are trying to map the male versus female ratio. So like if you talk of Adobe only, so here they have a policy that they want to have a one-on-one ratio, not just of the total employees but at every level of the hierarchy. So, and also there are other companies which are focusing on which are having similar drives, uh, like even in Ola, Uber, Amazon, and also so these days companies are taking initiatives to bring women into tech.
Exactly,
We
guys.
have
Like,
women focused
so
drives and all.
sure. So guys, like specifically the female candidates who are here, so definitely like in IT industry, there are multiple initiatives that has been taken by the companies for the women employees, because they want like they don't have any gender biasing, and that's how someone can do. One thing that you should always know is, because see, in the hiring process as well, there is nothing like that, like there is some physical work or something like that. The only thing that you need to focus is about your skills. That actually matters the most, even whether it's a male candidate or a female candidate. Sure. So that's the one thing. Secondly, ma'am, how do you feel actually the competitive programming that has played that used to play a vital role in someone's hiring process or a recruitment process?
So it's like it's not that directly we look into the maybe the competitive coding profiles of any
Sure.
individual, but like competitive coding somehow gives you a thought process. So like whenever there would be many students who would be doing competitive coding over here as well. So in competitive coding, you get to understand the problems better. When you get the TTL errors that the time limit has exceeded, then you try to figure out the ways to optimize. And that is where your thought process comes in. And like one thing I would like to mention is that even if you go through, so for example, in Geeks for Geeks, so whenever you are going through the solution of any problem, how you will find is that first of all the first solution would be a sort of a brute force solution, and then gradually you are improving. So that is the thought process which is required for good companies. And like in terms of the content, I would say like when a person is getting started, so Geeks for Geeks is a very good platform to develop that understanding. And like competitive coding is also adding similarly.
Perfect, ma'am. So now we have cleared about the competitive programming, like how exactly actually it is required. Secondly, ma'am, there is one question that has been in my mind. So how exactly a life, let's say right now, all of us have been working from home, specifically in the IT industry, and that's actually we consider one of our perk. So, ma'am, but before this pandemic, I just wanted to understand so that people can get a motivation. How
Sure.
exactly a day at Adobe looks like,
So
comparing to the
basically,
comparing to the office life, or you can say the campus life or a culture over there.
if I talk of Adobe, Adobe is one of the best companies to work for in terms of employee satisfaction and all. It is ranked like this time I think it's fifth or sixth worldwide in terms of the employee satisfaction. If I talk of a day, first of all, the first perk of being in the IT industry is that you don't have any set timings and all. So for some people, the day might start at 9. For some people, it might start at 12 and later. Plus, like in terms of, so basically, there are no hard set rules uh, in IT industry. You have the liberty to complete your task as per your convenience. So in terms of a day, and plus when you're talking about the good companies over there, like most of the facilities are there for you. So if you want to do some sort of recreational activities, all sort of facilities would be there in the office
Sure.
itself.
So guys, like I have seen like all the campuses, like whether it's Amazon campus or Adobe campus or Microsoft, they are really beautiful. You have multiple activities to do in campus itself. So that's actually keep you motivated while you are working. So that's the strategy of these companies. Okay. Anyways, ma'am, like I think like there is one question that I hope you should definitely take. That is
Sure.
like, how should returning mother prepare for product companies?
Right. So basically, whenever anyone is taking a break, so first of all, it's a bit hard to start again. But what can be done is that maybe you can start with some. The first thing that you should do is you should start brushing up your skills, the initial skills. So maybe like whatever are the initial fundamental coding things that you should brush up first. The second thing is that you can move to some of the online forums. So we have some sort of small workshops or small workshops. So basically what these things would do is that they will bring you again into pace, or you can start with some small projects, small freelancing, and then you can come back to the industry. So it's like keep your profile updated, because if your profile is updated, obviously the companies would reach out to you. And uh, and the second thing is like the second thing is like keep improving day by day, and keep your profiles updated. So
Surely,
and one more
surely,
thing, and
sure.
just one more thing, Ayushman. So basically, whenever you are leaving the job, so it's always easy to return back to the same company.
Perfect.
So
Yeah.
that way is also the companies are supporting.
That's actually a key point, because company will definitely value, like always, see guys, like whosoever is not working right now, or maybe who was about to start their job. So I'm just telling, every company values its employees at most. Like at least in IT industry, it is the trend. Like companies used to value their employees. Okay.
Right.
Now coming up to the
Networking
Ritika's
is the key,
question.
basically.
Exactly. So Ritika's question. So one more advice I have, like one of the perk that IT industry is again is having, like age is not a barrier over there. So maybe let's say
Right.
at whatever level that you have left out, just one thing that already like Monica ma'am have suggested. So what you can do, just brief on your skills, go work on your skills, and again you can come back, give the interview process, and you will be getting hired again. So that's actually not very tough. Just start working on your skills, develop your coding skills, programming skills, some of your product development skills. That's it. All right.
Just that
Sure.
the
So
restart might not be that smooth. You might have to be a bit patient, to reach to that level from where you left. But the
exactly.
industry is supportive.
Sure. Thank you, ma'am. One question is from Sanjana. That is, can we take machine learning and competitive programming? What do you think about it?
So basically, is it about a comparison, like which one should be taken, or
I think she's defining for both the things. Let's say if someone is planning to take both the things, can it be
okay?
feasible?
Of course, actually, both the things are quite different, quite different from each other. But like both are including some sort of analytical thinking only. So of course, we can take both of them together. Competitive programming, I would define it as the base of everything. Like if you have to start coding, you need to have that mindset, that how to optimize the resources and all. So that is the first thing. If and as far as the ML is concerned, over there, so you need to have that technical, so you have to have that mindset. Machine learning is not purely about coding, it is more about analyzing the data, having that uh, having that
Analytical skills.
skill to analyze, okay, this is the data,
Exactly.
and be patient to find patterns in it.
Exactly. Sure. So, Sanjana, like anyone can definitely go up and pick up both the field. Let's say if there is a comparison between two of them, so I think one should follow their passion or maybe the interest. If you're interested, you like coding, go for CP. If you are more of you want to just coding very good in maths and all those things, go for machine learning. That's also one of the really emerging domain in future. Okay. All right, thank you, ma'am. So now coming back to the tech thing. So, ma'am, let's talk few things that is like one of the term that has been in lot of the conversation. That is the FAANG. So FAANG companies, for those if they are not aware of this, so FAANG stands for Facebook, Amazon, Apple, then Netflix, and G for Google. Okay. So, ma'am, how do you think someone can prepare for these companies, like for the FAANG companies? How someone can prepare for?
Okay, so there is a series of steps. it's not just about a one day effort that can land you up into FAANG companies. The first thing is that you should try to start early. The second thing is practice. You need to code and code. So so basically you need to practice a lot. The third thing is being clear on the fundamentals, which include data structures is one of the key things. The second thing is algorithms, and the third, it's for a bit of the experienced candidates, it's system design.
Perfect.
So this is then apart from that, a few more things which I would like to add is that it's not just about you coding yourself. You should also try to read other people's code. That helps a lot. One thing. Apart from that, discussing is a very key factor. So basically, you have one solution in mind. Your friend might have a different solution in mind, and when you
Sure.
discuss these ideas, so that way the learning process not just becomes easy, but it also becomes
True.
interesting.
True. That's true. That's actually, guys, you can keep in your key point, because see, when you are learning in groups, actually, because we have seen like in past days, like our family members, they used to say, don't learn and study because you would be focusing. But actually, coding is one thing. Like if you are learning in a group, and if your group is actually good and they are passionate about coding, then you will be actually getting a really good output. Like I know many people, like there are multiple people in my connection who are, let's say, they are learning in a group, and now whole of their groups are sitting in Amazon, Uber, all those type of companies. So because the thing is, let's say what happens in coding is, let's say if you are coding a question, if you code a question, and at a particular instance, let's say there are 5 test cases and 2 of them are passed, but still 3 are left, and you don't know like what is exactly the error that you have been facing. Specifically, I'm talking about some of the launch challenges on different other platform like CodeChef or CodeForces. So what will happen? Like you just connect with your friend, say, hey buddy, I'm just stuck in this question. So do you have any approach? Like what exactly is the approach that you are using? So maybe just discuss few things. Don't discuss whole solution, because anyway, like if you are coding the whole solution, it won't be accepted. So just think of it
And
like
at time
where
it
exactly you are
happens.
lacking. Yeah,
And at time it happens
exactly.
that when you are discussing the solution, it's not just
Sure.
so just when you are just repeating the question with your friend now, you get to the solution. You just understand, okay, this is
Exactly.
something which I have missed.
Exactly. Exactly.
That
Exactly.
is.
That's also one of the thing. Yeah. So, ma'am, all the
Uh,
things that we are do.
One more
Yeah.
thing, Aishman, I would like to
Yeah.
add
Please,
over
ma'am.
here, and that is most of the people now, for them, what happens is they start very enthusiastically, but they gradually they get lost in the whole ocean of preparation. So basically, there are
Sure.
various topics, and there is a lot of practice, but then they feel a sort of lost in that whole thing. So
Yeah.
for that, I would like to say is that what you can do is you need to track your progress. Prepare a plan for yourself. That this much time I need to discuss for DS, this much time I need to dedicate for maybe DP. DP is a very important topic when you are preparing
Yeah.
for any of these top-notch companies.
Sure. Yeah. Ma'am, there was one of the question that someone has asked. Yeah. So, what is the best resource in the preparation strategy for DSN competitive programming for a final year student?
DSM competitive program for final year student. So as I mentioned to you, that the best way is that you have to study in a systematic way. What that means is that whenever a problem is given to you, don't try to jump to the best solution at the first go. Come up with a brute force solution and then try to improvise it one by one. So as I told you, like Geeks for Geeks is a very good platform for that thing. And uh, like uh, uh, then apart from that, try solving it. So don't just read the solutions. Like some people, what they try to do is that they just read the solutions. Don't just read the solutions, try implementing yourself. It's okay to be wrong in the first go, or to come up with a very unoptimized solution in the first go, but move on, but try to do it.
Sure, ma'am. So, guys, like, see, all the companies I can name on my fingertips, like the FAANG companies or maybe Uber. Adobe, Microsoft. These all the product-based companies have a very similar kind of a recruitment process, specifically for the freshers. Like first is like they'll be having a online coding round. When you are clearing that coding round, then they'll be taking you to the multiple rounds of interviews. These are specifically the tech interviews. So in online coding interview round, they'll be asking you on DSA, that is data structures and algorithm. Secondly, when you are going for the interview rounds as well, like the interviewer is, yeah, I'm sorry for the disturbance. So I was talking about the hiring process. So all these companies have a very similar kind of hiring process. That is first round coding round. Secondly, they'll be having the multiple rounds of interviews. Okay. So ma'am, let's say whenever, let's say there is a plan, when companies used to plan for a campus visit. So do you have some yeah, do you have some mindset like how exactly you are going to recruit a candidate or something like that?
So, like when we talk of the interview process, mostly it is a 4 to 5 rounds in the process, and like the first round is usually this one, an online coding round when we talk of the campus recruitment, and that is sort of just a shortlisting round. Followed by that, the first two interviews are mostly focused on DS. By DS, we mean that that too, na, most of the companies don't go for maybe graphs and all. They are mostly confined to linked lists and trees only. But you might get a few questions from graph, but not very difficult ones. If I talk of the third and the fourth round, there we try to judge the basically the problem solving of the candidates. So if the third and fourth round for a campus recruit would be problem solving, which might include DP and all questions, and for an off campus or like a lateral hire, we might try to judge based on the system design or the projects that the person has worked upon. We would try to explore more the edge cases, the problems that the person might have faced in and how he came out of that one, etc.
Okay, all right, ma'am. That's good. Yeah, another interesting question I have from Pooja itself. So she said, I'm really confused between Adobe and Amazon. Could you please brief share your opinion on which company should I join? Being a female candidate. Okay.
Okay.
So, ma'am, like you
So
have worked with the both companies. I hope like it's a tricky question for you.
actually, there are pros and cons of both. Um, both are like both are like very good companies only. Uh, in terms of learnings and all, I would say Amazon would be a better place to be there because, but like at times now, most of the people are not able to cope up with the hectic schedule that we have at Amazon.
Exactly.
So if you're looking for a very like balanced sort of a life, Adobe is a better place. And if you are in the early phase of your career and like trying to explore the best in yourself, and so at that time, Amazon would be a better place.
Surely. So, Pooja, like one advice that we can extract is like if let's say you are more passionate about you want to dive into the field of computer CP or maybe the programming field, go for Amazon. Or let's say if you are someone who likes to data
Research.
analysis, right? Exactly. So
Uh,
at that time you can join Adobe. Another question is from Jyoti. She said, like, what is the process of the gateway through which we can get into product-based companies if we are from campus where these companies don't come? So basically, as I can explain, she's saying like, what about the tier three campuses, like where the companies like Adobe, Amazon, they don't visit?
so basically, na, in that case, you need not be in a hurry to join these companies. Basically, get started. Like even if you are in some sort of a startup, just try to learn as much as possible in the initial years, and keep your profiles updated. So like try to learn as much as possible, and then through maybe via various platforms like LinkedIn or say Naukri.com and all. So these companies will automatically reach out to you like within an
Sure.
year or two or something, you will eventually land up
That.
of where you deserve.
And Jyoti, you know what? Like, if let's say this question came like 3 years or 4 years before, it's really hard to say like there are very less opportunities. But right now, the world has changed a lot. Like, all the recruiters are available on LinkedIn. if you have
Right.
a good programming skills, because there are multiple candidates you can see in the industry. Even I see many people, and one of the same type of candidate will be joining us for a webinar day after tomorrow. So a three-tier campus student from a three-tier campus, but if you have a good programming skills, like if you can code really well, or if you have that CPA level, let's say you have been to ACM, ICPC, like finals or somewhat over there, you have cracked Google GSOC or Google Code Jam. So these competitions are actually the best gateway, you can say, because if you are
Right.
going through it, that that means like your coding skills are perfectly fine. The only reason is like you are not from a good campus, so that's why you are not in that company. But yes, these are the very good ways. Secondly,
And
if
also
you are
there are
someone
no
who is, yeah, please ma'am, continue.
also there are no differences that you will see, or there won't be any bias that you would see in these companies, both the hiring
Exactly.
process and when you are onboarded. So like for the company you are the same. Like if you have good skills, you would be there.
Exactly. So there is no biasing, as she already suggests. Okay, ma'am. So next question I'll be giving from AK. Being placed in a service-based company, should I join it? And side by side preparing for the product-based companies, or drop the product-based company and prepare for GATE and try for a good campus. So any advice from your side now?
Actually, I might not be the very right person for
Okay.
this one because I cleared GATE. I had a rank of 312 over there, but
Okay.
I didn't take that opportunity, and I came to this side. I joined the product based company. So I'm not very sure of the opportunities that we have from GATE.
Sure. So I have a very little understanding over the same thing. So I think, see, it totally depends on the personal interest. So like what exactly you want, because master is actually, see, pretty. If you are doing masters only to get a good job, so my personal opinion is don't go. Like I don't suggest it, because let's say if you are investing 2 years over there, and if you are joining, there is no harm in joining service based companies, because ma'am, I hope like you can also see there are multiple people in your company who are sitting, who were a part of TCS, Infosys, Wipro, but now they are a part of Adobe or Amazon. What do you say? Do you see those type of people?
Right. So basically, what I would say is like even if we talk of the campus recruitments and all, in some of the
Exactly.
campus, both the BTech and the MTech students sit there for the interviews. But usually, you will see that the BTech candidates are like sort of like
Hmm.
hired more.
True. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
basically, it's just about coding skills, and that you can brush up with your job only. So like there is no
Exactly.
extra privilege that you will get as a MTech or a master's or of the master's degree if your end goal is like cracking
Getting
big.
a job in a job.
eh, right.
Perfect.
If you want to
See,
go for the
if you are
government side, it's a different
exactly
issue altogether.
government side, or if you are interested for a research work, that's a different case.
Right.
But if you're targeting for a camp placement or running a good company, go for the service based company, switch to a different company. All right. uh, sure. Second question that we'll be taking up, that is from Amit itself. So Amit, we have already discussed your question, like the different round of interviews, coding round, multiple round of technical interviews, and they are like you can find in any of the companies. What do you say, interview experience. So guys, yeah, one more update I have all of you. Let's say whatever is your dream company, just first of all go through their their interview experience. Like on GFG, you can find multiple interview experience with different companies. So you can just go through those interview experience. Actually, it will give you a more advantage, or maybe a more knowledgeable.
Of course, especially in the last phase of your preparation. So what you should do is that the basic preparation would remain the same. So basically, what you have been preparing for say 6 months, that is same for
Okay.
all the companies. But like when you have an interview scheduled, then do the company specific preparation, and that in that case,
Surely.
these experiences would definitely help you.
Perfect. Next question is like actually, ma'am, this is the most commonly asked question. Which language should we choose, CPP or Java?
If you're talking about these FAANG companies, what I would say is that it doesn't matter because when
Exactly.
you are sitting there for the interview and all, they just want to understand that they would just make you write the pseudocode mostly, and you're free to use any of the languages that you wish to use. they like in some of the companies, what they do is that they have an editor. So for example, in Google, what they do is they have an editor, and you can type in whichever language you want. So the
Sure.
key thing is that they are focused more on the understanding and the fundamentals and all, and not on the language.
Sure. Definitely, like guys, consider any one of the language, either CPP, Java, or Python. Any one of the language. Master any one of the language. So you can go up all yours. Uh, Secondly, so, ma'am, there is one of our candidate, like we are very much fortunate, like someone from our user of Pakistan, he has joined us. So he asked about like how to go apply for the FAANG go companies Pakistan. So I think, buddy, like the only thing is you can try for the masters, go to abroad to other countries, and at that place you can apply for the job. Or again, the same thing. If your coding profile is good, the company will definitely call you.
Of course.
Okay. So one question is from Pratyusha. As a girl coder in CP, what are the extra opportunity do I have for getting internship? So I think, ma'am, her question is something like that. She used to do CP, but what are the extra things, or maybe the extra things she should do for getting an internship or a job in MNCs?
So for that, maybe you can start with as I mentioned that there are many uh, hiring challenges and contests happening on various sites. So maybe you can get through those. You can land up internships over there. And the second thing is uh, the campus through campus.
Exactly. Yeah. How can women maintain work-life balance in good product-based companies?
Um, Tricky question, I would say. So basically. So this is something which one of my seniors told me, like one of my female seniors told me, that the best way to focus both your lives is that set up temporary priorities. So for example, one day you know that okay, my deadlines are approaching. Today it's my work which is more important to me. This day something happened in my family, and today my family is more important for me. So like you should have your long term focus plus your short term priorities. Like that is the way.
Surely. Okay. Next question. It's a good question, actually, I think.
But women do face some challenges while trying to cope up with their lives. That is like where the difference comes in. It's not the industry or the companies that are like making you that are being biased, but overall you
Sure.
have responsibilities as a woman that makes a difference.
Exactly, ma'am. So let's okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, we have a next question from Madhulika. How to keep our profile updated? As in what are the expectations from a good company? Where they approach candidates from LinkedIn or any other site? When they approach from candidates from so how exactly? I think like extract of her question is like how exactly she can build up a good resume. Like what should
Okay.
she keep?
So like try so first of all, don't try to box yourself. By boxing I mean that just focusing on just one skill. Try exploring different things. Whatever, if you're doing some sort of a courses in different things, maybe if you're doing something in machine learning, put that up on your profile. Maybe if you are if you have done some sort of a research work, put that up. If you have applied for some patents, that thing, some articles, your job experience in such a way that it is eye catching.
Surely. Uh, yeah, definitely, guys. Again, the same repeated because see, in technical field, especially for a fresher, all the things are like the same. Maintain good profile, coding profiles. If you have some projects, show it up in the resume. If you have some good rank, let's say you are a 6 star or 7 star coder, mention that on in your resume. So these are the very basic things. Or if you have some internship, do mention that projects. Definitely, these are the things. Ma'am, I think like one of the really good question Nishant asked on which on what we should focus. That is like on development versus competitive programming. So, ma'am, I think
Okay.
like we should just aggregate two segments. One is, let's say, if someone who is fresher, and
Hmm.
one who is an experienced candidate.
Okay. So for a fresher, I would say competitive coding would be more important because, for a fresher, that is what the expectation is. For a fresher, the companies are looking forward for just your reasoning and your ability to understand the problem and provide an optimized solution. So for a fresher, I would say the coding part is the competitive coding becomes more important. But as and when you grow in your career, so the expectation from you is that how well you understand the system. So for that you need to have a good understanding, so you should have a good development experience, because from that development experience only you will understand, okay, that these were the two technologies which could have been used, but I chose this one. Why? So what are the pros and cons of taking different alternatives? So for an experienced, I would say development would be more important.
All right, ma'am. Thank you. So next question is about like maximum student. Like I don't bring any comment. So maximum students are looking about the projects. So can you guide them about something about the projects, like what they can keep their projects for the
Is it
company?
about the college projects?
Exactly, exactly.
But when it comes to the college projects, primarily there are two sets. There are two types of projects that the students can work upon. One are the research based projects, and the other one are the application based projects. When we talk of the research based projects, what we should do is that first of all we should tag it on the interest area. So for example, maybe someone says security, information security and all, this is my focus. So try to get some good research papers, try to understand what is the research that has been done so far, and then try to improvise, provide some input through which the things can be improved a bit. So that is how the research projects go, and usually you get good rating on research projects. And the second is your application based. Over there it's mostly about the idea. Like, if are you coming up with something innovative, it's like a thought which has not been considered so far, a business idea, basically.
Surely. Next question, I would like to answer that is like I'm the fourth year 2020 graduate. How we can apply for the product company during this pandemic? So Ayush, I have seen like multiple things on LinkedIn, like multiple recruiters. Many of the people are commenting specifically for the Amazon, because Amazon have started resuming their hiring, or maybe you can reach out to those recruiters and some of the already working people. If you have a good coding profile, they'll definitely refer you. So guys, if I talk about the off-campus drive, so currently the best way to get into these companies is like go for the referral model. That's actually the best thing. And actually, when you are on your senior level of, let's say, if you are having a 2 years of plus experience, then the best hiring model every company used to follow is the referral only. So that's the advice
Right,
I
but
could give you.
just one thing
Sure.
I would like to add over here is that it is possible that these companies are a bit reluctant for the directly hiring the freshers who have no experience. But like as a
Sure.
lateral hire, within a year you can get into. So like try to be patient and start from wherever it's possible. Like just don't
Exactly.
block yourself.
Sure. So
Just keep learning.
exactly, guys. Maybe this is actually one of the tough times that whole world is facing. So, according to me, even it's a service based, a startup, or anywhere, if you are getting a job, just go on it. Don't leave that particular offer. But side by side, search out for some new or a very good options. If you are getting that, it's more than wonderful. And if not, then wait for some time. You'll be definitely getting some of the options.
Of course.
All right, ma'am. So languages, guys, we have already considered like C++, Java, Python, any one of them you can consider. Applied-based companies don't have any bias regarding the languages. So, ma'am, there are few candidates who are looking for the web development option. So, what do you think about the web development option in your future?
Web development, it's more like these days, like there are new technologies that are coming in. So like these days, the web, so we have React for the front end basically. When we talk of web development, it's primarily the front end. So React and all. So these are good platforms, but like I would recommend going for a full stack development rather than just web development.
Sorry guys for the inconvenience.
One question that I can see over here is regarding the roles. Someone is asking about that what are the roles of a computer scientist, an MTS, or an STE? So, what I would like to say is these are just the designations. So, primarily, most of these are only for these are for development profiles only. These are just the levels or the hierarchy, which is different.
Sorry.
Some students are also posting about branch. So people are asking about that if they are from other branches. So if you are from tier 1 or tier 2 colleges, in that case companies in the placement drives itself, they allow students with good coding skills to fit into the drives. If not, what I you like take up some job and like eventually you can land up. So basically we have seen people from coming from different backgrounds and who eventually land up into these good firms.
Surely, surely. So, guys, like I remember, like 15 days before, I hosted a webinar with someone who was working with Amazon, but initially he was an electronics engineer. So definitely you can have a look over there. So if you are having a see in technical, it's all about the skills. If you are good in coding, you can definitely get a job. Whether you are experienced, if you are from some other branch, or even let's say because if you are not from an engineering background as well, but if you are good in coding, you'll
Right.
be definitely getting a job.
Of course.
Sure. So I think like ma'am, we have almost covered all the questions and about the languages part because all the questions now coming they are in a repeated mode. So yeah, one more question that I can see it's about the data science job. What do you think? Like, have you seen the data science job in the this companies?
When you talk of the data science jobs, over there the focus is mostly like providing some sort of a service to the marketing or or maybe the risk type of companies. So it is more of
Sure.
a research type of a job. So over
Okay.
there, what we try to do is that like maybe we try to develop some models which would facilitate the marketing teams to get better results, or maybe that would help the risk teams to mitigate risk better.
Sure.
So,
Okay.
so that is
All right. Sure. So one more question that is coming up for the guys who are looking for CP. So guys, if you are looking for CP, don't go for C, go for C++. That's actually the best language. And even I don't prefer Java when you are specifically targeting for some good ACM, ICPC level coding challenges. Go for CP, C++. That will be
but
the
if
best.
you are like in the very early phase of your career, like if you are a college student, like
Yeah.
you should start with C at least. So because like the pointers and all concepts, no, you would miss out otherwise. So like
Perfect.
in the very beginning, start with C, but then move to C++.
So guys, if you are in the first year, go with C. Second year onwards, start switch to C++.
Right.
Right. So ma'am, I think most of the questions are coming in repeated. We have already covered all those parts. Uh, so I think now, ma'am, it's the time to sign off and let's say goodbye to the students. So guys, thanks for joining us today. And yes, it's a learning series and it will be keep on going. So again at 9, we are having one of the really amazing mentor Harnoor with us. So he'll be helping. Let's say if you are someone who are targeting for US or other countries, so he'll be the right person to help you out. So let's meet at 9. Until then, have a goodbye and thank you, ma'am, for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay.